Flows, even for the Hansard, even for those who follow, even those who want to cut and share, you should not have periods of time where there is a pause and then you continue and so forth. I think it will be in order, Mr. Speaker, people to wait there, you finish the statement, it flows well, and then we proceed.
Senator Haneri.
Indeed, Mr. Speaker, I want to really support the point of order raised by Senator Murkomen. Senator Orengo and those of us who are here in the earlier parliaments will bear me witness that that used to happen when the communication is too long. But Mr. Speaker, announcing the death of a colleague is a very short communication. When members come in, you don't have to sit down and allow them to walk in. Just finish your communication, then they can walk in. You only do that if the communication is too long.
No, I only allowed because Senator Ephraim, I hope you don't want to defend yourself.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
because you
Mr.
don't have to.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that we know you as a calm, magnanimous leader. And let nobody, Mr. Speaker, try to change you from the good man your mother made you. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, there are those who are calm in sheep's clothing, yet they are actually leopards. Please, don't take some of these advices. We believe you are equal to the task, and you conduct yourself, in an honorable way as a good leader, and don't be tempted to change to the whims of some of us who are
order, senators. Senator, leader of minority, you want to?
Mr. Speaker, I really want to support what Senator Murkomen is trying to propose. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, when I came and found you on your feet, I went on the side and waited and listened from outside. Partly it's because of the authority of the Speaker. When the Speaker is there, the mace is there, and you're on your feet, it undermines the authority of your chair. To be subjected to be standing up and sitting down. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, what I'm worried about, and this goes to what Mr. Haneri is saying, for example, I was reading a record of the condolences that were read in the House of Commons in respect of the death of Sir Winston Churchill. Now, I'm looking at that record in juxtaposition to the record that we'll have, because the Hansard will have to report the Speaker sat down, the member for Nyeri, Senator for Nyeri, walked in, like he's now doing. Yeah. So, Mr. Speaker, I just think that for the dignity of the House, once you are on your feet, you should be constrained to sit down. And if there's anybody who feels he must come in, then you should wait until the end of your communication, unless it is a very long communication. Yes. But I think if it is, other parliaments are very different. If you looked at what happens in Brazil, and went there with Senator Mutula, people can be having mini meetings while the session is going on. Yeah, even members of the public can come in. Actually, we walked in, and we were mingling with the members. But that is their system, and it works differently. Because in those systems, the issue of debate is not very important. In some houses, in some jurisdiction, the way we debate is very different. For them, sometimes you have to go with a written speech for 5 minutes. So debate is not valued. But in our system, we value debate. And once, like I'm on my feet, the ordinary, the standing rule was that nobody should be between you and myself while I'm on my feet. And I think these rules are just for good order. So I really support what Senator Murkomen has brought to your attention, and similarly Senator Haneri. Senator Haneri, I really appreciate him, because in the old days, Shikuku will never let anybody get away with anything. And I think Senator Haneri is filling that void very, very, very effectively. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Senators. I note your sentiments. I've just been magnanimous at times, looking at the age of some of us. But let us not abuse that opportunity. But I've noted what you have said, because that must also go for the record. Because you remember even today, one senator forgot and just thought he was in Marsabit and just walked down the aisles. And I don't know what was causing confusion. But I just expect that we conduct ourselves in an honorable manner so that we maintain not only the dignity of the House, but even the Speaker's office. Next order. Oh, I had given, sorry, Senator Cheriot on...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, like you have communicated, you will allow us to make our comments with regards to the passing on of our colleague, the Honorable John Oro Oyoka. Mr. Speaker, the reason why I felt it will be in order for me to relay condolences on behalf of the people of Kericho is that this gentleman served the people of the county of Kericho with great distinction during his stint, first as a teacher, and I think second as a district education officer. He served in Cheptenya High School, one of the very old high schools in our county, very close to where I come from, and also in Kericho Day Secondary School, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, on behalf of the people of Kericho, we do pass our condolences to the people of Bonchari on the passing on of this great leader for his service to us as a people and to the nation generally. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the other reason is that in the month of November, I came up with a question before this House with regards to platforms that digital money lending platforms, Mr. Speaker, and that question was referred to the Committee on Budget and Finance. And in the course of our interaction, we were referred by the CBK to a bill that this gentleman was actually sponsoring in the National Assembly that regulate this very bad practice that has inculcated, that has set foot in our country, Mr. Speaker, and is now being used to fleece many of our young people that are trapped in these online loan sharks. Mr. Speaker, I know currently we do have a standoff between us and the National Assembly. But one of the requests that I want to make with you, because in the ruling of the High Court, they urged both you and the Speaker of the National Assembly to embrace a spirit of cooperation and consultation. I want to plead, Mr. Speaker, that when you finally get to sit down and have an agreement on how bills shall be processed in both houses, please have a place for co-sponsorship of bills, such that a member of the National Assembly and the Senate can jointly sponsor a bill without necessarily having to first conclude in order. Actually, the avenue doesn't exist at this particular moment. If one sponsors, then it goes to the other house as sponsored by senator or member of parliament, member of National Assembly from a particular constituency. I say that, Mr. Speaker, to say that the bill that he was sponsoring was so important that I hope our colleagues in the National Assembly will see to it that it is brought to conclusion in the quickest time possible, then brought to this House, where I believe as Committee of Budget and Finance, we shall ensure that we conclude that work in remembrance of the good work that was done by the Honorable John Oro Oyoka. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. When we were just sharing with my colleague, one of the issues that came up was also complaining about the bills taking too long in committees sometimes, and my colleague did say that the late John Oyoka has had to die before his bill is concluded, and it has been in the committee for a very long time. So we don't control death, but those who receive these bills in the committees, the various committees, whether it's a bill or a motion or whatever, let us try to hasten the process so that people get results when they are still alive. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Leader of majority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 16th February 2021. Number 1, the Budget Policy Statement 2021. Number 2, the Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy 2021. 3, the Draft Division of Revenue Bill 2021. Number 4, the Draft County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2021. 5, the proposed Senate calendar regular session for the 5th session, February to December 2021. Number 6, report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Nyamira County Assembly for the year ended 30th June 2019. Number 7, report of Auditor General on the financial statements of Nyamira County Executive for the year ended 30th June 2019. I thank you.
Okay, Honorable Senators, I have a communication. Honorable Senators, as you may have noted, the Senate Majority Leader has tabled the budget policy statement for the financial year 2021-2022. Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act and Standing Order 180 of the Senate require the National Treasury to prepare and submit the budget policy statement to Parliament by 15th of February each year. Honorable Senators, by a letter reference Con M of F83/02 TY 5/30 dated 11th February 2021 and received in the office of the clerk on 11th February 2021. The Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury submitted the following documents for consideration and approval by Parliament. A, the Budget Policy Statement 2021. B, the Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy 2021. C, the Draft Division of Revenue Bill 2021. And D, the Draft County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2021. Honorable Senators, the Budget Policy Statement is an important tool as it sets out the broad strategic priorities and policy goals that will guide the national government and county governments in preparing their budgets before the following financial year and over the medium term. It contains, among other things, 1, an assessment of the current state of the economy and the financial outlook over the medium term, including the macroeconomic forecast. 2, the financial outlook with respect to government revenues, expenditures, and borrowing for the next financial year over the medium term. 3, the proposed expenditure limits for the national government, including those of Parliament and the judiciary, and indicative transfers to county governments. 4, the fiscal responsibility principles and financial objectives over the medium term, including limits on total and annual debts, and the proposed division of revenue, including proposed conditional grants, if any. In a nutshell, it means that any proposal that senators have regarding the division of revenue bill and the county allocation revenue bill, including funds for conditional allocations to the counties, should be canvassed and forwarded to the National Treasury for possible factoring in the budget policy statement, failure to which it will be difficult for changes to be accommodated later on. Honorable Senator, Section 25(7) of the Public Finance Management Act provides as follows, and I quote, Parliament shall not later than 14 days after the budget policy statement is submitted to Parliament table and discuss a report containing its recommendation and pass a resolution to adopt it with or without amendments. Further, Standing Order number 184 requires the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget to deliberate upon and table a report containing its recommendations on the budget policy statement within 12 days, for this case being not later than 25th February 2021. In addition, pursuant to Standing Order number 185, in considering the budget policy statement, the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget shall consult the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Finance, the Commission on Revenue Allocation, County Assemblies Forum, among other stakeholders. Honorable Senators, based on the importance of the budget policy statement and the above timelines, I direct that the budget policy statement be considered by all standing committees, each concentrating on its respective mandate. The standing committees will then forward their recommendations to the standing committees on finance and budget for consolidation not later than Friday, 19th February 2021. To enable honorable senators and the committees to interrogate issues contained in the budget policy statement, the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget has organized a briefing session for all senators tomorrow, Wednesday, 17th February 2021 at 9 a.m. in the Senate chamber. I hope we have all heard. I urge the Senate Committee on Finance and Budget to expedite the process and table its report on or before 25th February 2021 to enable the Senate debate and approve the budget policy statements by 2nd March 2021. Honorable Senators, please note that pursuant to Section 25(8) of the Public Finance Management Act and Standing Order 188 of the Senate, the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury is expected to take into account resolutions passed by Parliament in finalizing the budget for the relevant financial year. Honorable Senators, I therefore urge you to all prioritize the scrutiny of the budget policy statement, taking into consideration our most important function of safeguarding devolution. I thank you. Next order. What's your point of order, Senator Sakaja?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the communication that you've just issued on the BPS on this very important process in our financial year. Mr. Speaker, for many years, the PFM Act has been disregarded because when it says that Parliament shall consider the BPS and give a report, Senator Orengo will tell you that they could have said the Senate and the National Assembly separately do a report. But it says Parliament. And what has been happening, Mr. Speaker, is that our committees sit, go through a very tough time in very short timelines, give recommendations, but the recommendations of the Senate are always ignored because there's a separate recommendation by the National Assembly and the Senate. Mr. Speaker, we even realized that sometimes we even get different briefs from the Budget Office. Mr. Speaker, I'd urge you to consider, since you're saying the third tension, the relationship between you and your counterpart are much better, that ideally it should be one report that goes to both houses and the Senate inputs its recommendations and the National Assembly does the same. But that notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker, could you consider a way through which Parliament, as envisaged in the PFM Act and the law, actually gives one report on the BPS and has one brief by the Budget Office? Mr. Speaker, that then cannot be disregarded as has been done previously. So during your talks, just consider how we can do one report, either by way of one motion that we both pass, or by consolidating the two different reports from Senate and National Assembly and passing it on to Treasury. And Mr. Speaker, it's a very, very important aspect that many times we ignore. Thank you for your
Thank you very much. I think today, you know, we were, as House Business, we were scheduled to meet the budget committee, the budget office, to sort out some of the issues that have been raised on canvas in this House about how they can be advising. They advise the Senate differently and they advise the National Assembly differently. They say this is not a money bill. When you work on it, when it goes to National Assembly, they advise them that it's a money bill. So those are some of the issues that we wanted to sort out, but I've also noted what you have said. We'll see what can be done so that it's Parliament, not National Assembly and the Senate separately. Okay. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Leader.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move to give a notice of the following motion that the pursuant to Standing Order 29.1, this House approves the Senate calendar regular sessions for the 5th session, February to December 2021, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 16th February 2021. Thank you.
Okay.
Speaker, sir.
Okay.
Proceed.
Okay. Proceed.
The Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That the Senate expresses its deep sadness at the death on 15th February 2021 of the Honorable Mohammed Yusuf Haji, the Senator for Garissa County. and the chairperson of the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations. Records its appreciation for his contribution to public service spanning over 6 decades. Recognizes the high esteem in which he was held by his colleagues from both parties and the principled, dedicated, and considered manner he undertook his duties, and offers his profound sympathy and condolences to his family, friends, and nation. I thank you, Speaker.
Okay, next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable Senators, I wish to rearrange the order paper so that the statements come later after order number 8, which is a motion approving the calendar, and motion number 9, which is condoning the late Senator Mohammed Yusuf Haji. Okay, as they are checking, the whips are checking something, we can do order number 8 because it's straightforward.
Order number 8, motion. Approval of the Senate calendar for the 5th session.
Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that pursuant to Standing Order 29-1, this House approves the Senate calendar, regular sessions for the 5th session, February to December 2021, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 16th February 2021. The Speaker, again, for the convenience of the House, Speaker, the calendar is attached to the order paper for today. And Mr. Speaker, this is, again, very important for members to note. I'd like to propose, Mr. Speaker, that as beginning from when we started on the 9th of February, and for the rest of the time, Speaker, Senate will continue to meet on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And Mr. Speaker, the calendar is divided into Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, and Part 6 as parts of...
Order. Listen to what is the leader is communicating. Volume, your voice, Leader.
It's not me, it's really the controls. The controls out there, please, Saidia volume. Upper. I'm as close as I can get to the microphone. The Speaker, I was saying that this is attached to your standing orders, the schedule for these calendars. And I say, Mr. Speaker, that the calendar is set out very clearly from the day we reported on the 9th. Mr. Speaker, if you can protect me from the people on my side.
I'm told you are not being, they can't hear what you're saying.
But that's not my fault. The volume. Add the volume. Those who want to hear, I think I can hear. Speaker.
Okay, proceed.
Be prepared to hear.
You may have to bend.
All right, Mr. Speaker, is that clearer? Okay, thank you very much. And if you also stop talking, you'll hear. Speaker, it is notified for our own good that the calendar is very clear. As I said, it's attached to the order paper. Mr. Speaker, I can still hear people talking on my side of the House. And if it can be protected from Senator Murkomen and his team. Please give us a little time, just attention. It's very, very, very brief presentation. The calendar is straightforward. It's divided into parts and sessions. This is all the fifth session. The parts are part 1, 2, 6. And Mr. Speaker, it's very clear that we'll be meeting on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in the afternoons, all through to that time. The Speaker also that special sittings shall be notified through Kenya Gazette notices as per Standing Order 30 of the Senate Standing Orders. The annual suspension of committee sittings, which is at the end, Mr. Speaker, is given so that committees can begin to see for themselves how to arrange their work, Mr. Speaker, so that by the 13th of December, they know that that's when sittings are suspended. Mr. Speaker, I think this is a very straightforward motion. If there are any amendments to this, Mr. Speaker, as usual, they'll be brought to the attention of the members, and the members will have to approve them. And so I need to therefore move, Mr. Speaker, for approval of the Senate calendar for this session, and ask Senate Minority Leader to second. I thank you.
Mr. Speaker, this is basically about procedural matters and business in the House. And therefore, without much ado, I beg to second, but only to mention that it looks like the National Assembly, in appreciation of the orders that were made by the Court of Appeal, are republishing bills that they have passed without complying with Article 110(3) of the Constitution. And therefore, this has resulted in creating a lot of business in the National Assembly. And they are meeting, they're having an additional session. In fact, I think there are some days they're having 3 sittings in a day. So as we pass this calendar, we may have to adjust our calendar, not necessarily in terms of the days, but in terms of the sitting, because some of the bills that went through the National Assembly and were sent to were really critical and have an impact on devolution. If that is the position, then we may have to revisit this calendar, either in terms of allocating more days in order to accomplish that business in respect of the bills that went through the Senate's participation, or extending the sittings on a daily basis so that we have more than one sitting a day. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Okay, order, senators. I'm going to my feet. Honorable Senators, I propose the question, which is that pursuant to Standing Order 29.1, this House approves the Senate calendar regular sessions for the 5th session, February to December 2021, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 16th February 2021. Okay, I don't see any interest. I'm sure most people want to contribute. The other one. I now put the question, which is that pursuant to Standing Order 29.1, this House approves the Senate calendar regular sessions for the 5th session, February to December 2021, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 16 February 2021. As a matter of that opinion, say aye. Aye. As a matter of a contrary view, say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Ephraim, what's your point of intervention?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I like to raise this point of order, Mr. Speaker, about the conduct of the security as one comes to Parliament, Mr. Speaker. This afternoon, I came to Parliament and the car in front of me at the gate was opened, the bonnet was opened, the boot, and I did not understand. And when I reached my car, I actually protested, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask, is it that members here have been regarded as a security risk to Parliament, or what is going on, Mr. Speaker? It's exactly very demeaning. And if, Mr. Speaker, there was a need, for heaven's sake, buy an equipment which can be able to sense if there is anything in the car, but not subject members, because before long we will be told to come out, remove our trousers, and we'll be inspected, Mr. Speaker. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, this is, I want to caution this House. I want to caution this House. Some things may look small, but they are demeaning. Here is an askari who has been put there. We remember in the history of this country, there were times Moise limousine would be stopped in Naivasha, and it would be inspected in the boot, it would be inspected in the bonnet, as though he was a terrorist, yet he was the vice president of this country. Mr. Speaker, we cannot go back there. Mr. Speaker, incidents have happened in this House, and the honorable members are honorable, not by name, they are honorable because of their patriotism and the sacrifice they do to this country. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, that department is your department. Do they inspect your car yourself? They don't. Mr. Speaker, let us not have this class system. We are all members of the Senate. We are all members of Parliament. We cannot be a threat to ourselves. And if any of us has been suspected to be a terrorist, let him be picked in the right way, not actually be embarrassed there in front of everybody, forming a line of cars, that cars are being inspected by some policeman whom I don't know where he was trained, what is his political intentions. Mr. Speaker, I want to say, let us protect the dignity, let us keep the dignity of this House, and can this be streamlined? Let things be put in order. We are in civilization, not in the prehistory periods when there was no law. Law are made by men.
Okay, your sentiments have been noted. Since it falls within the administration, we will work on something that respects the dignity of honorable members of Parliament, both Senate and National Assembly. Further, want to reorganize the order paper. Just go to order number 10, because we have numbers, we finish and come back. So I directed the bell. Okay, read the order. Read the order.
Order number 10, the Mang Beans Bill, Senate Bills number 9 of 2020, division.
I directed the bell be rung for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, order. Order, members. Order, order. Order, order. Huh? Take your seats. Yeah. No, the senators. He will see you after this. Other senators. I put the question, which is that the Beans Bill, Senate Bills number 9 of 2020, be read a second time. Okay, it's a matter affecting counties, so it will be by delegations. We are having a roll call. Huh? Okay. The tellers, I saw them there. You can now take your positions. What's your point of order, Senator Murkomen?
Mr. Speaker, there is a slight matter that you may want to clarify before we vote. As we know, we will debate later the loss of our Senator, Senator Haji. Mr. Speaker, the Senator Falhada is the delegate of Garissa County, but the head of delegation is not here, and is not alive to give that delegation. Mr. Speaker, I know you will apply your mind on this issue. I have the opinion that she may not be able to vote. But Mr. Speaker, it's up to you. My reading of that section of the Constitution is that there must be, the leader of the delegation must be there to give the delegation itself. But in the interim, Mr. Speaker, what will happen before you give that direction? What will happen to Senator Falhada? Will she vote, Mr. Speaker, on this issue?
So I think from the records I have, that had been withdrawn, and we have nothing on record to reinstate it. So in the circumstances, you will not vote for, but we'll look at how we can address it later. But he had withdrawn the late. He had withdrawn, yeah. So let's proceed.
Adan Dulo Fatuma, Isiolo County.
I vote yes.
Ali Abdullah Ibrahim, Wajir County.
I vote yes.
Boy Isa Juma, Kwale County.
I vote yes.
Cherarke Samson Kiprotich, Nandi County. Cheriot Aaron Kipkirui, Kericho County.
I vote yes.
Hargura Godana, Marsabit County.
Marsabit County votes yes.
Imana Malachi Charles, Turkana County.
Turkana County votes yes.
Kajwang Moses Otieno, Homa Bay County. Kamar Margaret Jepkoech, Wasingishu County.
I vote yes.
Kangata Irungu, Muranga County. Kaniri George, Vihiga County.
Vihiga County votes yes.
Kibiru Charles Robinson, Kirinyaga County. Kihika Susan Wakarura, Nakuru County.
I vote yes.
Kimani Wamatangi Paul, Kiambu County. Kindiki Kidure, Tharakanithi County. Kirinyaga Ephraim Mwangi, Nyeri County.
I vote yes.
Langat Christopher Andrew, Bomet County.
I vote yes.
Lelegwe Steve Tumbesi, Samburu County.
I vote yes.
Linturi Franklin Mithika, Meru County. Loitip Anwar, Lamu County. Madzayo Stewart Mwachiru, Kilifi County.
I vote yes.
Mohamud Mohamed Maalim, Mandera County. Malala Clophas Wahungu, Kakamega County.
Speaker, I need to know clarity if no, I need to know bwana kama kuna pesa anakataa paka tuchue.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
You vote.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, on behalf of Kakamega delegation, I vote yes. Just because he's in the
Mbito Michael Malinga, Trans Nzoia County. Mbogo George Ochilo Ayako, Migori County.
I vote yes.
Mogeni Eric Okongo, Nyamira County. Moi Gideon, Baringo County. Mpayei Philip Salao, Kajiado County.
I vote yes.
Murkomen Onesimus Kipchumba, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
On behalf of Ndengu Hustlers, I vote yes.
Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Makueni County.
Makueni votes yes.
Mwangi Paul Gidiomi, Nyandarua County.
I vote yes.
Mwaruma Jones Mwashushe, Taita Taveta County. Mwenye Haji Mohamed Faki, Mombasa County.
I vote yes.
Nderitu John Kinywa, Laikipia County.
I vote yes.
Ndwiga Peter Njeru, Embu County. Olekina Ledama, Narok County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Ongeri Samson Kegengo, Kisii County. Orengo James, Siaya County.
I vote yes.
Outa Frederick Otieno, Kisumu County.
I vote yes.
Pogisho Samuel Losuron, West Pokot County.
I vote yes.
Sakaja Johnson Adha, Nairobi County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Wako Siswila Amos, Busia County. Wambua Enoch Kio, Kitui County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Wario Golich Juma, Tana River County. Wetangula Moses Masika, Bungoma County. Mahmoud Mohamed Maalim, Mandera County.
I vote yes.
So you will need to log in again, huh? Those who want to speak on the late Yusuf Haji.